Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
You're watching.
We're watching. You're watching Fanboy.
Fanboy. Fanboy.
Fanboy.
Fanboy.
A fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dot, I assume Tom.
Vanessa, we're going to get this started right off the bat. In Aramaic, we call her Matmaryam. In Arabic, Maryam al-Adra. In Greek, our Panagia. The Theotokos, the God-bearer, the Mother of God, the Queen of Heaven, the Virgin Mary. You get to play Mother Mary in The Chosen heading into season 5 on September 28th. You are playing the most important woman, or person rather, in all of human history. That's got to be something.
That you definitely made me feel like that right now. Yes, it like I always say, I try to kind of shut all that out when I'm working, but when I do press, it's like, oh goodness, yes. Oh, so much pressure. But it's also such a gift, and it's also so I'm so grateful for having the chance to make her story heard a little louder, because I think we've all seen her in these very vulnerable moments. In the Bible, there's not a lot about her, and so the show really fleshes this character out and gives her such presence and such you don't only see her as a mother, you see her as a woman, as a mentor, as a part of her community, as a best friend, as so much more than just a one-sided figure in in stained glass. So I am very grateful that I get to be a part of her story.
Well, without her, yes, we wouldn't be here 2,000 years later retelling the story again and again.
Right. I like to call her the OG disciple.
Well, like I said, if she didn't say yes, we wouldn't be here. So
exactly.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
When it comes to realizing this one yes from this one woman that continues to resonate 2,000 years later, and I understand as a performer, you have to put this out of your mind that now you're a character, you're not doing a docuseries in this regard, because there are some liberties and there are various theologies that play into this, whether Catholic, Orthodox, or Protestant. So you have to take this as another role. When you're able to put that aside and treat it as a character instead of a historical figure, does that make it a little bit easier in the performance to give it your own take?
For sure, for sure. I mean, I always say that what works in my favor is that nobody knows how she walked or how she talked or what she looked like. I mean, I could literally infuse her with all, my own images and idiosyncrasies, I guess, or just mannerisms, and I definitely try to bring as much from my own background as a Latina woman, because I feel like we share a lot with the Jewish culture in that respect. Jewish mothers, Latina mothers, I feel like there's a bond there. There's a connection there where we really love taking care of our own, where we we mother them into adulthood, way into adulthood. We love to feed them, and we're just the warmth that I always associate, because I always associated her with my grandma from the very beginning. When I read the scripts, I was like, this woman is my grandma. Like, it's just, it stood up from the page from minute one. And that that warmth I always felt when you hug your grandma. It's that's what I wanted Mary to feel like. So that's been kind of my 2 cents, that maybe people could see an even more real person, because the text already does a magnificent job at that.
With a show like this, one of the hardest things has to be the fact that you know how the story's already going to end. It's not like you got this script, this is a totally new character, and you're reading through it and you're going to figure out where we're going to go as you develop it. Does that also make it a little more difficult because you know where it's going to end, so you have to have different emotional reactions throughout the shoot because you're not shooting this chronological?
Correct. Well, we are shooting it chronologically from season to season, but not within the season for sure. We kind of jump around a lot, but definitely is, and this was particularly I guess hard for me in season 5 because the very first scene we open with in season 5 is the triumphant entry into Jerusalem, right? And so what mother wouldn't be proud and joyful to see her child, his life's work be received like that by hundreds and hundreds of people. And I kept feeling this really odd thing where I was like, I can't be happy right now. I don't feel like she would be happy. And I was trying to, because in acting, they tell you, well, it's good if you're in between two different things, two contrasting things. That's interesting, like when you actually have you're living in the conflict, right? And so, and it struck me like, of course, she's not happy. She knows that the end is near. I mean, she's probably in the back of her mind thinking like, how are these people going to turn on him? This can't be real, right? And so there's so many things going through her head, I think, in that first season that I really tried to honor and to portray. But it definitely, that what you're saying is like, okay, well, I don't know how it ends, but from the very little information I have, how do I kind of portray all these different emotions, and how do I try to fit it all in, especially in that first scene where I'm not saying anything. I'm part of the pack, but acting wise, definitely that is something that